Toxicity in the gaming industry is one of the only things journalists write about because they cling to it, throwing it into people's faces whenever their trash articles are criticized. They chalk it up to toxicity, and now the Mary Sue is whining at the fact that Counter-Strike is getting a sequel because of how toxic its player base really is. I have a few different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media so you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and live streams I create, consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. So the title of this article is "We're getting a sequel to a game that's so toxic that 86% of players have been harassed." Now, there are some games out there that are well known for their more toxic player base, right? But I'm gonna be honest, it has never kept me away from a game. I personally have never gone, oh my god, I've heard such bad things about this player base, or else I wouldn't play games like League of Legends. I remember for a time Overwatch was being touted as having a toxic community, Counter-Strike. I mean, any game that has any kind of professional scene has a level of what these people would call toxicity. I personally don't think that every single time it's toxicity. I think that it's just competitive banter, and we know that competitive banter can definitely get out of hand, but when there is something at stake like ladder points, people do want to win and people do get extremely competitive. If you do not want to play a game that has a so-called toxic community, all you have to do is mute the people you're playing with or shut off the voice chat or text chat or however you would communicate with those other people and simply play the game. But no, instead of doing that, the Mary Sue clings to things like toxicity so that they can throw that term around whenever we hurt their feelings. Like, they would call me toxic right now for calling out this bad article, but they go on to say 86%. Wow, I still can't believe that statistic is real. Like, I've heard more than enough abusive and derogatory comments over voice to know online harassment is a common occurrence in first-person shooters. I would be interested to know what they define as online harassment and abusive and derogatory comments, because I've got to be honest, these people are sensitive snowflakes. You could just say, "You're ugly" over voice chat without ever seeing their face, and they'd go, "That's a derogatory, rude, abusive comment. How could you?" It says, but now, nearly 100% of players have experienced harassment while playing just one game. What the hell? It's true. Earlier this year, Valve announced Counter-Strike Global Offensive is getting a sequel, Counter-Strike 2, slated for summer 2023. While the summer is just about over, a new tweet from the official CS2 Twitter account, the official X account, implied we might just see the Counter-Strike 2's official launch next Wednesday or Thursday. There has not been any confirmation of this. I think that they probably will release another trailer and then release it in a few months. Maybe they will actually release it though. But it says, however, you might just want to keep your mic off or outright mute voice and text chat altogether. According to a survey report from both the Anti-Defamation League and gaming industry research group Newzoo, 86% of adult players reported that they experienced some form of harassment while playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Now, I wanted to know where they were getting this information, where this survey was really coming from, what the details of this survey were, and boy, oh boy, is it pretty ridiculous. So it is the ADL 2022, hate and harassment in online games survey, but it says the ADL's annual report on experiences in online multiplayer games shows that the spread of hate, harassment, and extremism in these digital spaces continues to grow unchecked. Now, they don't actually say throughout this whole entire thing where they are getting their information from, how many people they studied, how many people they surveyed. They don't actually do that. But the first thing they claim is a majority of gamers have experienced harassment in online multiplayer games. More than 4 out of 5 adults, 86%, aged 18 to 45, experienced harassment in online multiplayer games, representing over 67 million adult gamers. So you're telling me you surveyed nearly 90 million people? That would have to be the number, because of course in a study there's going to be a percentage of people saying that wasn't their experience, and that's about the number they would have had to have had surveyed in order to receive this 67 million figure. I understand that they're saying this is the amount of players across the world that have been harassed allegedly, but this is an insanely large sampling group. If you want to compare it to populations, it's just about 20% of the population of the United States. You can just see how massive that number truly is, and nowhere in this do they actually provide information on, where they got these sample numbers from. But that's all that they talk about, is these giant figures and how many people who play games have been harassed. Going back to the Mary Sue article, though, it says white supremacists on Counter-Strike. While Riot Games' League of Legends saw the sharpest year-over-year increase for harassment experienced by adult gamers, up 16% from 2021, Counter-Strike led as the game with the highest harassment rate in 2022's survey, up from 74% in 2021, and a CS competitor Valorant stood second at an 84% harassment rate, followed by PUBG Battlegrounds at 83, 81% of League users, and 80% of Call of Duty players. Now, again, we do not know exactly what they are defining hate and harassment as. They're just saying, oh, people have been harassed. These people have been harassed. Again, what I might call hate or harassment may be very different from what one of these individuals defines it as, but that's the issue with a lot of studies like this now, is that definitions are not very clear. And you could, again, call me ugly in the comments section, and I could say that's hate and harassment and use it for specific charts. It goes on to say, though, still, Counter-Strike remains an incredibly toxic experience for players across all ages, not just adults. It's also a game where young kids are being exposed to far-right ideologies, too. According to the survey, 29% of adult CSGO gamers encountered some form of white supremacist rhetoric while playing Counter-Strike. So basically, the only point of this Mary Sue article is to trash the gaming industry, which we see happen time and time again, even though the Mary Sue is not just gaming news or a gaming outlet, because they do cover kind of a plethora of just entertainment topics in general. But this is something that I would expect to see The Gamer also write about. They haven't at this point, but maybe they will in the very near future. We'll probably see another wave of Gamers Are Toxic articles from the Kotakus, the Polygons, the Gamers. But the Mary Sue has started it. I mean, I cannot take these people seriously, because they never actually talk about anything of substance. They just cling to reports, or they cling to these very specific situations in order to attack the gaming and entertainment industries in general. I love gaming, do not get me wrong, but these people drive me absolutely nuts, and they are only hurting it more than they are helping it. But yes, the Mary Sue is now whining and complaining that CSGO is getting a sequel, and they deserved to get absolutely roasted over it. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.